Okay, welcome everybody. Yay, here we are, Trini and C, another episode for you. Today, this one's a little bit different. Why don't you stick around and find out why? I mean, we have nothing here except four glasses.
What's happening?
Okay, so today, why don't you bring out what we have for us today?
Bottle number one.
Okay, so we got the old 1980s version of Glenfiddich, no age statement, pure malt.
Found in Granny's cupboard.
Yeah, so always check those dusty cupboards. You never know what you're going to get.
Why don't you show us bottle number two?
The modern version of Glenfiddich 12-year-old.
Bought last week.
Yeah,
so you've got 89, I think it's like 1989, 90 or something like that, versus today.
Yeah, so, and today being somewhere in 2016.
Yeah, we don't want to age our video too much.
Yeah.
People will be watching this for thousands of years.
Thousands.
So.
Yeah. So this guy, it's the Sinclair Clan tin.
I'm actually just going to take it out of the tin because
it.
it's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Weird bottle, I gotta say.
I think all the Glenfiddich bottles, they are very unique in the sense that they kind of have that triangular.
This one is extreme though. Like this is almost sharply edged.
Yeah, that's I like that one better.
Kind of a cool label to it.
This one's way more rounded, which is not as cool, I think.
One thing that's one difference between these two bottles that are probably I don't know for sure, but I think this is the older expression of this. But,
yeah.
One thing that's interesting. This is 43% alcohol. Whittled down to a mere 40% these days.
And let's just say, if this bottle is as low as it is, and has been in a cupboard for as long as it has, there's a good chance that it's actually lower than 43% alcohol now, because it's evaporated over the years.
Then it's going to taste
do I do the honors and
real
open
mellow.
this up?
This is uncracked, so
yeah,
this
is
a virgin bottle.
Today this isn't so much a review of the whiskeys as it is just kind of a comparison to the old versus the new. Obviously, I haven't actually tried Glenfiddich in quite some time, so I do know in the last 5 years, every time I have tried a little bit, it does, in my mind, seem to be getting a little bit better. It wasn't as good maybe 5-6 years ago. And now, I feel like maybe enough people were saying that, and they've started to
They stepped up their
game a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, who knows what this whiskey was. It is, mind you, no age statement on this one. So
what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the new Glenfiddich 12-year-old into our Trenian C glasses. We each have a Trenian C glass. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Into a Trenian C glass,
right, yeah.
as I said.
Brand new. Ooh, I love the glug. A new glass. New bottle.
Well,
oh, nice.
A little extra for me. Whatever. Deal with that.
Yeah. So, we probably won't give too many crazy tasting notes, because we will eventually be just reviewing this one anyways on its own merits, because it does deserve it. It is considered a classic single malt. A lot of people that are starting to drink Scotch, they usually start with this or the Glenlivet. So
what are the chances that this bottle makes us sick?
Pretty good. Yeah, we'll see.
This might be a puke video.
It could be. You know what, the other thing with this one is it is a screw top, and so sometimes it gets a little bit more
vaporized
and a little bit more gunky
evaporated
in the cap. So
we have taken some sips out of this over time. Yeah. We just probably haven't drank a dram each of it. But.
Okay, so let's just nose the 12-year-old new guy. I always, and again, we shouldn't be reviewing too much behind this, but it always reminds me of a little bit of apples.
Yeah.
Fresh apples.
There's definitely a honey to it. A little bit of that spice.
I'm tasting it.
You're just going right at it, eh? The color. One thing that I can say about the color off the bat here is it looks like the new Glenfiddich is a little bit darker, and that could be because there's no age statement on the older version.
So it could be
a little more aged.
Yeah.
And this one calls it. Did we already talk about the fact that it calls itself pure malt?
Yeah. So pure malt, from kind of what I gather, is it was especially back then in the 80s they were kind of calling single malts pure malts. As far as
it's a similar version of to single malt, but it just might not be it might not be sourced specifically from Glenfiddich,
right?
And it may not be. It kind of goes along with the no age statement.
So it's a fancy name for
no age statement.
Yeah.
It's a fancy way to say no age statement. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just try the first one. It's light. It's refreshing.
Super mild.
Yeah, it's
like that is.
It's a good beginner whiskey, beginner Scotch.
This isn't the first glass of whiskey we've had tonight. Surprise. But what I can say is, compared to pretty much anything else that we've drank tonight, this is like.
It's mild.
It almost tastes alcohol free. Like
yeah, it's a little bit more apple juicy and it's a good, again, don't want to repeat myself too much, but a good beginner's whiskey.
Super mild.
Yeah, really mild. You kind of get the idea of what Scotch tastes like with it, with the earthy kind of undertones and the sweetness and all that sort of stuff.
But I think that's why it's popular, is because of the fact that it's not harsh in any kind of way.
Yeah.
Gets the job done. It's got that classic Scotch, that malty, that honey, that sweet and spicy kind of taste to it that kind of your everyman enjoyable whiskey.
And it's one of those too that you can easily drink it in the summer as much as you can drink it in the winter. Kind of thing.
It's not heavily peated.
There's no peat factor to it.
It's just mild.
In fact, and I don't ever do this, but I would say that you could even probably mix this in a drink.
You could.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't, but
of the scotches that you're gonna mix, this is up on the list.
Yeah.
Do we get into this crazy
let's go to the other one. Let's try this.
Old timer. Like I said, the color's a little lighter.
It actually smells a little bit more.
It has a little bit more heat to it.
A little bit more heat. It also has a little bit more of like an actual sherry kind of thing going on.
Do a little side by side. Yeah, there's definitely an apples and fruit kind of thing going on here.
This does smell like it's maybe this because it's been in the bottle open for a long time, but a little bit more like fermented, like left by a heater kind of thing. It's still good though, actually. I think
they almost. Honestly, they smell very similar, with this one being a little bit more fragrant on the fruit side.
Yeah.
But all of those same aromas are here.
Yeah, this just kind of tastes basically like exactly what it is, a newer version.
I'm going to taste the old. I'm tasting the old guy.
Sure. Yeah, it's got a little bit more of that homemade wine kind of taste to it, and I think that's just because it's old and been opened.
It's a little bit grandma's cupboardy.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a bit musty.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that... And that's the problem, is that we don't really know if that's actually the taste of the Scotch, or the fact that it's been cracked for 25 years.
Yeah, I think there's a big influence on the fact that it's been opened already. This would be different if we were opening it for the first time. It might be a little bit more similar to this, who knows. But this has a little bit more of that... even brandy. It reminds me of a brandy too. That kind of fermented, distilled wine.
It might just be stale.
It's not bad though.
But you know what? There's really no other. I mean, we're not going to buy a $250 bottle of this from 1989 uncracked. So to stumble across it in Granny's cupboard is
pretty
much
nice.
the only way we're going to do a side by side tasting from '89 to now.
Yeah, and in reality, it's a good documentation to have this, because this is just a heel left over, so it might not last for too much longer.
No, we'll add it to our heels video.
Yeah.
It'll definitely make us sick.
Anyways, just kind of thought we would share this one with you. It's not specifically a review or of any kind. It's just kind of
a wacky video.
Something a little bit different. New versus old. But it's maybe a little unfair because this one's been cracked for 30 years.
So that being said, before we close this video off as the worst comparison video of Scotch in history, what do you think? What's your if you had to decide which one you're gonna pick up now?
The more I'm tasting it, I am realizing they are quite different from each other. And I think in just general terms, I'd probably go with the new one. It's a little bit more malty and a little bit more crisp and a little bit, it just has life to it. It still has the life to it. This is a little bit dead in the bottle.
I don't know, I'm getting some interesting flavor notes, but again, I don't know if it's because it's been sitting there for so long, but it has a more of a musty character to it. It has a bit of a, I don't know if it's a bit more malty and grassy, even.
Mm. Yeah, it's a little bit like a fresh cut grass hay kind of thing. A little bit, I'm still finding a little bit of that brandy kind of flavor in there.
Yeah, there's a bit of nature in this thing here. There's a bit of a natural taste to it that, and maybe we're talking about going back 25 years, things are a little bit more natural and they're a little bit more synthetic in today's world.
Could be.
I'm not hating this.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, the mothballs are working on me here. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the old guy.
Yeah. So I'd say if you can find one of these bottles in the cupboard or wherever, some people just store them in their cellars or whatever.
It's not enough of a difference for me to say, hey, go online to a whiskey auction and pay $2.50 for this thing.
No,
I'm not there.
I'm sure there's plenty of huge Glenfiddich fans out there. So you might want to do that just because that's your thing.
To add it to your collection or something.
But I mean, there's probably better, really old versions of different whiskeys.
Yeah.
I think if I was to find an old Belveni, I'd be pretty excited about that.
Sure.
But that's just me.
But this is definitely a mass-produced product. Mass-produced product from the 80s, 90s, and I'm sure there's still plenty of it out there for people to get their hands on.
And I mean, for all you Sinclairs out there, this is the Sinclair clan.
I think you just need to buy the tin, actually. I mean, I'll sell you the tin right now.
Yeah, hey.
Send me a Gmail. How much are you going to give me for this?
Starts at $2.50.
Yeah. I'll even throw in the rest of this crap. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. I don't know what the point of this video was besides the old versus the new.
Something for you to watch. You're bored watching everyone else's whiskey reviews. You come to us for something different.
A little bit different. Anyways, I'm going to cheers myself and enjoy the rest of this.
Different doesn't mean better. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching Trenny and C. Tune in again next time for a proper whiskey review.
That's right, and subscribe on YouTube, Twitter,
Instagram,
Facebook, all that stuff.
Tumblr.
We're there. We're worldwide, babies. Trenny and C.